What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Pyro V3. Alright guys, so before I get started with this video, I do have to give a big shout out and thank you to the people over at Vandy Vape for sending this thing my way for the purpose of making this video. When I did my first impression, I totally skipped over the fact that this thing is actually squonkable. I found out when I was digging through the box, and I found a squonk pin. I installed it immediately and then did a build on it, and I gotta say, I have been absolutely loving this thing ever since. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in 7 different color options for you to choose from. You've got blue, gold, frosted gray, gunmetal, stainless steel, rainbow, and matte black. And it's only going to run you about $30, which I think is a pretty good deal for a nice starter RDTA, especially for one being so versatile. And with that, if you guys want to grab one for yourself, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below. But without any further ado, let's dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Pyro V3 in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, then we'll talk about what's inside. So first things first, I really like the design of this packaging overall. Vandy Vape is absolutely killing it in my opinion. Definitely a big upgrade from their old blue boxes that were really boring, but we've got gold embossed Pyro V3 RDTA and a little thing that says sample down there at the bottom, and we've got the black embossed little flames going on there on the front, which is really neat, and our color indication, which is frosted gray. On this side here, nothing. On this side here, Vandy Vape logo. On this side here, nothing. And on this side, Vandy Vape logo. Big surprise there. On the back, we've got some basic stuff, just what's inside the box, and some company information, and the fact that it's a sample, so no UPC or anything like that. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the box here real quick. We've got, first things first, a little glass piece there. This is a replacement glass piece. It's nothing special. It's not a bubble or anything like that. Putting that off to the side, we have our cap, separated from the deck, so you can take a look at the cap there, which we'll take a look at better in just a second. And we have our build deck. Once again, we'll take a better look at that in a minute here. We've got our baggy O parts, lots of little things in here. We've got some replacement screws, we've got our flat pin, we've got a screwdriver, some O-rings, and a 510 drip tip adapter, and we have some coils as well. We've got some fused Claptons in there, pretty nice looking. China has definitely stepped up their pre-made coil game. And then finally, we've got this little kind of coily tool thing going on. Obviously it's marked for the one that is recommended for this device, and gotta give a big shout out to the originator of this style of device here, Mr. Coily. Make sure you guys go check out his site if you want to check out the original Coily. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it's 24 millimeters in diameter. It has a 2 mil glass tank capacity, 304 stainless steel construction, postless quad terminal build deck, side secured via 4 Phillips headed screws, single or dual coil configuration, peak insulated throughout. It has a deck-based fill port, 18 holes in the cap for airflow, and 6 underneath the deck for bottom airflow. It's BF squonk ready, and it has a threaded 510 connection. Alright guys, so let's take a quick up-close look at the Pyro RDTA, starting off with the drip tip up top here. Pretty much your standard 810 resin drip tip, although it is slightly angled towards the top there, and it doesn't have any O-rings on it. Nice wide bore through the middle, and it's pretty thick and chunky, so it's not going to break the second you drop it. We also have an O-ring on the inside lip of the top cap section here, which holds those drip tips in place, and it is cross-compatible with the other 810 tips. We have this kind of design going on around the top section here, which does add a little bit of grip, so I guess it's sort of useful, but I kind of find it ugly personally. We have the logo engraved on the outside of the top cap here. It just says Pyro, and here we have the airflow holes, which are fully adjustable. As you can see, we can just rotate this around, and it's going to start opening up those holes, and just like that, you can see it opens the top row and then the bottom row. Taking a look on the inside of the cap here, we can just kind of move that, and you can see these big old tabs here that line up your bottom airflow have to go specifically into the notches cut out in the deck section. So that can be a bit of a pain, especially since there's no indication of where those can go, and there can't be any indication because unfortunately this whole top cap ring moves. So there's that. But in any case, you can see the inside lip here of the cap section. So here's a look at the build deck with my coils still in it. I just wanted to give you guys a feel for how I've been using this thing over the past couple of weeks, and I gotta say this setup has been pretty darn good. But yes, I definitely need to clean up my coils and change out my cotton, but this just kind of shows you guys that I don't dangle my wicks down all the way to the bottom of the tank, and I really feel like that's how you should be doing RDTA, but maybe that's just just me. And here's a look under the hood without my coils installed. As you can see in the middle there, we have this little kind of a skate rampy kind of bottom airflow thing with the holes in it, and the airflow comes in from either side on the outside there. We also see the gold screws, which are pretty bad. I would have definitely liked to have seen this with grub screws instead of these, but unfortunately they don't supply you with any in the box. You also have the post holes on the bottom there. It's kind of like a postless build deck where you just drop your coils in place and tighten them down. Very easy to build there. And the wicking holes on either side here, which are very generous in size. You kind of combine both wicks of both coils together and just tuck it right down in there. Very, very easy to wick this thing as well. And you can fill it on either side using the holes right here and right there. Very easy to fill up this tank if you don't want to squonk on it. So there's really nothing much else to talk about. Yes, the bottom is just pretty much a plain old tank. This screw here, this is the squonk pin that goes all the way through, can be removed and replaced with a flat screw as well. So you can just use this thing as a normal RDTA. Pretty cool little thing there. It's also got this like rubber gasket on the very bottom of it with the engravings. And this rubber gasket, I believe, is to make a better seal when you're squonking on it. So that is really neat. I like seeing that kind of innovation there, and I personally haven't seen it before myself. And that's pretty much what I've got for you guys in this close-up section of the video. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Starting off with the good, I really love that this thing is so affordable. It's only $30, and the only other squonkable RDTA that I own is the Alliance Tech Flav Tank, and that thing is above $100, so this thing being so cheap and affordable, it's nice to be able to take this thing out with me and not have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about losing it or breaking it because you can always get another one. It's only 30 bucks. The second good thing about this device is that it's squonkable in general. Now, not only do you have the juice capacity of your squonk bottle, but you also get a couple extra mils inside the tank as well, which is great because I vape a lot. Let's face it, I'm out there all day, every day vaping, and this helps me vape a little bit longer before I have to fill my squonk bottle. And the third thing I really like about this device is that it's so easy to build. It takes you no more than about 5 minutes to build this thing, no matter what skill level you are, from beginner all the way up to expert and anywhere in between. It's just as simple as dropping your coils in like a postless build deck, and even wicking this thing is a cinch as well. Alright, so moving on to the bad, one of the worst things about this tank, in my opinion at least, is the screw heads. I was just not impressed right from the unboxing video. And yes, these screw heads on this thing are pretty atrocious. I gotta say, my screwdriver skipped a couple of times, and now my screw heads are kind of jacked up. And unfortunately, you don't get an extra set of grub screws in the box. So with that being said, I would have definitely replaced those with grub screws, whether it be Allen-headed or flathead or something like that. Anything would have been better than what they give you in the box. The second bad thing about this device is the airflow is not independently adjustable. You only have one option, and that's just to twist the barrel, and that cuts off the bottom airflow and misdirects the top. That can cause a lot of issues with a little bit of whooshiness and sort of turbulence going on inside of the chamber, and it also kind of aims your airflow away from the center of your coil, which can cause some hot spots and that kind of thing. So in my opinion, they should have added an extra separate ring in the middle to adjust your bottom airflow, and that would have made me a whole lot happier. And the third thing I would have to say negative about this device is the fact that it's a little bit difficult to get your coils to actually wick up the juice, especially when your tank is half empty or more, and with that, it can cause issues with dry hits. I tend to have to really squonk my bottle a whole lot in order to get it to basically flood the build deck and get my coils to be saturated. Otherwise, I end up getting dry hits from time to time, and I gotta say, that's definitely annoying. And last but not least, the ugly. What is so ugly about the Pyro V3? Well, in general, I've never been a huge fan of the Pyro aesthetics, all the way from the version 1. Just never a huge fan overall, and it just feels like a lot of this stuff is kind of there just to exist and just to be there. It's just not really my thing, and I personally think this device is a little bit on the ugly side. One thing they absolutely should have done with this tank here is have some sort of indication somewhere of how you align the cap, because if your airflow is adjusted whatsoever, your cap isn't going to line up straight against your coils, and that can cause some headaches when you go to put your cap back on after checking your coils or re-wicking. So personally, I never take my cap off for that exact reason, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass when I go to put it back on. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to say yes to this one, but it's mostly because of the price point. If this thing was $20 more expensive, then I would have to say no, just because I really feel like I wouldn't use it all the time. But for you squonk fanatics out there, you definitely want to pick up a Squonkable RDTA just to mess around with, and this one being 30 bucks is definitely a good choice. So if you want to grab one of these for yourself, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that is right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments down in the box below and check out the links I've got down in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.